And we are live. Welcome. Ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between. I am Violet Hyena. You are here with perfect timing because I'm here to do tarot card readings for people with perfect timing. And I have 13 decks. And I choose which deck gets to speak by using a regular playing card deck to choose which one gets to speak. Alright. And there's already a Margaret. Hello, Margaret. Hello, welcome. Will I date someone before I move? Margaret asks. That's a very good question. I'm going to ask the cards, specifically the tarot cards. That's a yes/no question. Light number 2. Are you saying you like the gay tarot? Light number? I'm trying to understand what you're talking about, Margaret. Are we talking tarot cards? In chat, I like the video. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Okay, cool. But anyway, I'm going to what was I doing? Tarot cards is a yes or no question you would ask. I appreciate the likes. Thank you. Okay, which tarot card deck for answering Margaret's question? Number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The Robin Wood Tarot. Okay. Robin Wood Tarot. Okay, so Margaret's question is, will Margaret date someone before she moves? Will Margaret date someone before she moves? It's a very good question. That's a good shuffle. Ooh, we have a yes. And I'm going to look further into the card for details. Alright, we have a page. Don't escape. We have a page of pentacles. And the page of pentacles is a youth that is exploring the financial side of things, exploring the materialistic. Very playful youth with money. Probably also distracted by shiny things. And if it's any clue about what they might look like, then they have dark to black hair. I'd say medium shaded skin. And they like brown and earthy colors. So, hey, Margaret, good luck. Go find someone lovely and go get yourself a date. Let's see. And then Margaret says, will Paul miss me when I leave for Florida? It's a very good question. I shall ask the cards. Yeah, we'll draw another deck, just for funsies. Okay, which deck would like Margaret's second question? Will I break up with my new person before I move to Florida? Ooh, you're asking many, many questions. Time to get off the board. Okay, so will Paul miss Margaret? And will you break up with your new person before you move to Florida? Break up. There we go. And you? Okay, which new tarot card deck would like to answer Margaret? Number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Supernatural. Okay, so will Paul miss Margaret? And oh, there's another one. Will Paul friends just tell him to move on after I leave for Florida and forget about me? Will Paul's friends just tell him, friends of Paul, will they try to console his broken heart? Alright, so 3 questions on the board. Let's find out. Okay, so Paul. Will Paul miss Margaret? Gosh, this is the first tarot card I pulled where I don't know. Let's see, this is 9. And so this is upside down. It's really hard to tell, but I can tell by the Roman numerals, because if it was a 9, then it would be 1x, right? Yeah. So then the second one is, I'll come back to that one. Will I break up with your new person before you move to Florida? So breaking up is a yes, the Empress. And will Paul friends just tell him to move on after I leave for Florida and forget about me? And yes. So no, yes, yes. Let's look into the cards more. This is for, will Paul miss Margaret? And the answer was no. He's too focused on his money gains. That's exactly what that card tells me. And you will break up with the person you're with before you move to Florida. You're just not gonna, you're gonna be the Empress. You're not going to have time for that long distance relationship. Long distance relationships are also super hard to keep up. So, as an Empress, you are just calling this as no, it's not worth my energy. I have things to go do. So, with your Empress energy, you're just not gonna need this person if they're not gonna be in Florida with you. So, can't take them with you. You gotta leave them behind. And then the third one, will Paul friends just let him move on after I leave for Florida and forget about Margaret? And yes, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Paul's friends are gonna say, forget about her. And he is going to be focused. King of Blades. He's going to be then focused on his own. I don't want to say violent, but it's really looking that way. It's looking like he's having a stern position, and he is going forth in survival mode to continue his way of survival because it's what he knows. All right, I hope that helps you out, Margaret. It's a lot. You have a lot going on, Margaret. Let me put these cards away. Put this here. These to board. Any other questions? I'm gonna have some tea. I'm gonna have a small tea break. Finished making my tea. I kind of got on late. That can't sound nice. Anyway, I'm done with this. Tea. Will his mom be upset that Margaret is leaving and call Margaret? I will get to your question after I make my tea. Let's see. Alrighty. But keep them coming, that way I can build back up the board. Oh, tea is so good. Alright, immediately refreshed. Let's do this. Okay. So, will his mom be upset that Margaret is leaving? Will mom be upset? Will it be the best thing ever that I moved to Florida? Will it be the best thing ever? Will Paul lose his business when I move? Ooh. Business loss. Interesting. I love it. I love to see how this pans out. It's very interesting. Which deck would like these questions? Okay, number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The octopus deck. Come on. There we go. You make your friends. Boo. Okay. Okay. More yes no questions. Turn. Okay. Will Mommy be upset and call? And that one's a no. That is the 5 of Swords. I'll come back for detail on that one in a minute. Will it be the best thing ever that I moved to Florida? And that's a no. That is the 5 of Pentacles. I'll look into that one in a moment. And will Paul lose his business when Margaret moves? And that's a yes. And that's the 8 of Wands. Okay. So, no, his mom will not be upset. The question was, will his mom be upset that Margaret is leaving and call Margaret? And the answer is no. I'll look into the card for more detail. It's the 5 of Swords. And that is a conflict card in the Swords. It is actually a card of defeat on your end. So, she is just not. She's gonna cut ties. Because of the social situation. Yeah, that is what this card is telling me. She's gonna cut the ties of the situation. Alright, and then the other one was, will moving to Florida be the best thing ever? And that's 5 of Pentacles. And the 5 of Pentacles represents I know it's financial loss. The money is floating away. And no, it's a very big financial upheaval to move anywhere. So you may not enjoy the ride getting to Florida. Financially speaking. Everything else is kind of up in the air, but financially speaking, it will not be the best thing ever. But that's something, if that's worth it, then it's worth it. Because I don't feel like that's the total loss. It's just the monetary part of it. And then, what was the last one? Paul. Will Paul lose his business when Margaret moves? And the answer is yes. And it's the 8 of Wands. And the 8 of Wands is pulling together all of those. I noticed you. It's the pulling together of all the creativity things. And seeing things come together. And yet, in this picture, I see something collapsing, like some sort of void opening up, and something collapsing, which would cause a big stressor on him mentally or magically. So something affects his business in the back of his head, strangely enough. This one's kind of giving me vibes that it's something health related. And that's intuitively speaking. Alright, I did those questions. I hope that helps Margaret, and then I'm going to look back on chat and catch up. Turn these around. There we go. Alright, and we go. Will Paul regret leaving Margaret? Will Paul regret leaving? Is TJ regret losing me? Does TJ regret losing Margaret? And Margaret says, okay. And Snow Rini says, hi. Hi, Snow Rini. Okay, and Margaret says, okay. Alright. So I'm going to pick a new deck for Margaret's next few questions. Which tarot card deck would like these two questions? We might squeeze a third question in here if Margaret can get it in the chat fast enough. There it is. Found it. Knew it was coming. Will TJ have to move out of my brother-in-law's house after the divorce papers are done? Ooh! Oh! You did! Wow! The tea has dropped. Ooh! Will TJ have to move out because of divorce papers? Wow. Okay. Ooh, he's spicy. You live a spicy life, Margaret. Very spicy. Which tarot card deck? Number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Robinwood Tarot again. Okay, let's see. These are all yes/no questions. Okay, I'm going to review the questions real quick for the cards. Will Paul regret leaving Margaret? Is TJ regretting losing Margaret? And will TJ have to move out of Margaret's brother-in-law's house after the divorce papers are done? Oh, it's also spicy. Okay, let's see. So, boom, bam, dip. Ooh, they're all yes. Wow, that's pretty good. Wow, one's a major arcana. Okay, so, Paul. Will Paul regret losing Margaret? And the answer is yes, and the card is the Devil, which is a major arcana. Wow. So, in the picture, I'm definitely looking at this man who is reaching for freedom in the open, like to the opening, but he will not let go of the treasure, so he's being. Ooh. I feel like this one. Like, Paul is going to feel that you've left, but he's not willing to let go of the treasure. He's not willing to let it go to you. And that's why this whole debacle is coming about. And then, will TJ regret losing Margaret? And the answer was yes. And the Knight of Wands. And the Knight is a character of action. So he will regret missing you, but not in an emotional way. More of he's so busy with his own stuff going on. And if that's the case, if he's gonna regret it, then things are gonna fall apart around him, and he's just gonna keep going forth and charging forward, even though there are regrets. Okay, and the Ten of Wands was a yes for will TJ have to move out of Margaret's brother-in-law's house after the divorce papers are done. It was a Ten of Wands, and I specifically look at this card and see that this character is moving all of his staffs out. Like, if he has to move out, then he is gathering all his staffs to move. He's charging again. He's kind of charging forth. Not really. Not. It's definitely like he does regret losing you, but he's too angry to feel it as regret. He's just not letting him feel that sadness. He's too focused on being angry and taking action. And it's a little overwhelming on his part. It's a chapter ending in his life. That's what that is. I get that. Okay. I understand that. I hope that helps you, Margaret, because I get it. It's a lot. You got a lot going on, Margaret. I hope this is helping you. Okay, I'm gonna put this deck away and then I go back to update on chat. Have a little bit more tea. Okay. let's catch back up with chat. Okay, will TJ will TJ lose his job once the divorce is final? Will TJ lose the job? Will Margaret come to visit Paul when his health goes bad? Will Margaret visit? Okay, and then Snow Nirine, and Margaret says that does. Good, I'm glad. Snow Nirine says, what will be my coming job? Alright, and then after I do these two, I will get to Snow. So Snow is on the board. I'll get to you in a bit, Snow. Hold on. We're going to pick a tarot card deck for Margaret's questions. Okay. Okay, which tarot card deck this time? Number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cat tarots. Very good. The cat tarots. Put that there. Alright, I'm gonna refresh the questions for the card, which is, will TJ lose his job once the divorce is final? And will Margaret come to visit Paul when his health goes bad? Alright, let's find out. I don't know if you can hear this on radio, but that thunderstorm is actually outside. That is actually happening. That is not mood music I've put on. Okay, so it looks like TJ will not lose his job, and what? I'm not sure which tarot card this is. Okay, well, if I have to say intuitively, a cat on its back is a trap. So don't do it. And I think that's intuitively what that means. Do not go. I think the advice here is just do not go visit him when he's sick. Just don't. It's a trap. And then the hangman. So TJ losing his job is a no, and it's the hangman. He will not lose his job, but he'll have a different perspective. And he's gonna struggle a lot. But he's not gonna lose his job. He's just gonna have to gain the new perspective and go through the struggle. It's gonna be a major arcana for him. Again, it goes with that regret that he's not absorbing. He's just too angry to he's too angry to be sad about it. He's going to eventually have to process this, and when he does, he will get a new perspective on it. But he's not going to lose his job over it. I think, in fact, he would be working harder at his job and struggling to keep hanging on. But he's not going to lose his job. He's going to be in a very bad mental state, but that's about it. But that one, I'm just like, oh, this one is swords, because I remember that the teeth on cats are swords in this deck. So this is the Four of Swords. Yeah, this is definitely a trap. Don't go visit him when his health is poor. Just don't. It's a trap. Absolutely 100% a trap. Alright, I hope that helps out you out, Margaret. I'm going to put this deck away, and then we're going to get to Snow's question. Okay, Snow. Snow, I'm getting to your question. Okay, Snow's question is, what will be my coming job? What will be Snow's coming job? And actually, since I'm here, I'm gonna catch up on chat, and then I will get to Snow's question to make sure I have everyone. So, will TJ call Margaret when he needs a place to stay? And will Paul ask Margaret to take care 5 hin of him when his health gets bad? I'll put Margaret back on the board, and we'll get to your next set of questions then. And then Crunchy. Hello, Crunchy! I see that you retracted a message. And Crunchy says, Hola, Violet, and greetings to the room. And Margaret says, that's good. And Crunchy says, hi. Hi, Crunchy. And Crunchy asks, and yes, I saw your message the other day. I've been missing you in recent days. How are you? I am very good. I've been very busy. Summer work started and it's all busy. But a lot of, things are going very well. Things are going very well in the way that money is going well. So things are working out really nicely. Yay, and busy. Good things. Very good things. Aw, so happy to hear that. Thank you. Bueno. There be goo. Sweet. I hope things are going well for you on your end too. Awesome. So now that I have caught up on chat, I'm going to go back and answer Snow's question. Snow has been very patient. I have not forgotten about you, Snow. What will be my coming job? What will Snow's So who wants to answer Snow's question? I'm going to open that up to all the cards. Let's see. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The octopus tarot is going to answer Snow. Okay. Boop. Okay, what will be Snow's coming job? What will be Snow's coming job? Let's see. The Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands. Well, the Queen is the symbol of the suit of wands, usually very calm, influential figure. And the wands are creativity, magic, and action. The suit that manifests things, it has to do with fire. Very action oriented. And my eyes are drawn to the flowers, but they're also drawn to the catfish. And the catfish is within the tentacles, and at any time, the queen here could wrap their tentacles around that fish and pull it up. And at the same time, there are beautiful flowers around. So it's going to be a job that involves catching things. Oh, okay. So this is going to be a sales job. And that is what this card is telling me. It's going to be a sales job. I wish you luck, Snow. Then we're going to get to Margaret's questions. And then we'll get back to chat. And Margaret's questions were, will TJ call when he needs a place to stay? Will TJ call? Will Paul ask to take care of him when his health gets bad? Will Paul call in a favor about his health? There we go. All right. Okay, gonna get to these two questions. There we go. Which tarot card deck would like to answer this bunch of questions from Margaret? 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The Robin Wood Tarot again. Okay, I'm going to refresh the questions for the cards. Will TJ call when he needs a place to stay? And will Paul ask Margaret to take care of him when his health gets bad? Ew, don't do that. I don't like it when they break. It's not very nice. Okay, yes, no questions. Okay, and the answer is yes. TJ will call when he needs a place to stay, and no, Paul will not ask for Margaret to take care of him when his health gets bad. Okay, I'm gonna look further into the cards. Okay, so this one is a yes for TJ calling when he needs a place to stay. And this is the Two of Cups. So he's going to be relying on your past relationship to try to call on a favor. And that's a big trap. He's going to try to use that to get his foot in the door. That's a big trap. I'm sensing a huge trap there. Don't do it. And then will Paul call and will Paul ask Margaret to take care of him when his health gets bad? And the answer is no. He seems to have his own financial setup to help him with that. So he's not going to rely on Margaret for that. Okay, hope that helps you out, Margaret. Now I'm going to catch back up on chat and put this deck away. Have more tea. Okay. Sip some tea and catch back up on chat. Ah, tea is tasty. We were talking to Crunchy a lot. Sweet. And Crunchy says, they're improving a bit. Yes, thank you. I just reconnected with someone today and it went well, which is nice. Amazing. I love when things go well with reconnecting with people. And Crunchy says, and I guess my question for today would be, what does Spirit see that I should anticipate this week? Very good question. I'll put your question on the board, and then once I catch up on chat, I will get back to your question. So hang in there, Crunchy. Crunchy's on the board. And then Crunchy says, plus, thank you. You're very welcome. And then Margaret says, will I start a business in Florida? I'll put Margaret back on the board. Okay, and Abhi Krishnat says, hi, can I get a reading? Yes, you may. And Abhi Krishnat says, I want to know what is feelings of Kalai towards Abhi. We are in less contact. All right, so Abhi Krish not. I'm going to put you on the board. So after Crunchy and Margaret, I'm going to get to your question. So hold on, I will get to you. You are on the board. He Krish Nets. Also, you look like a new username, so welcome and thank you for subscribing. And then Margaret says, "Thank you. You're very welcome, Margaret. I'm glad I could help." All right, so now that I've caught up on chat, I'm going to go through the lists. We have Crunchy, which was up here. Okay, and then the question would be, what does Spirit see that I should anticipate this week? We're going to find out. We're going to ask all of the cards. What should Crunchy anticipate this week? Which deck would like that question? J, which is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ask and it is given. What should Crunchy anticipate this week? This is the information card. We don't want that information. It goes in the box. What should Crunchy anticipate this week from Spirit? From Spirit. What should Crunchy anticipate? What should Crunchy anticipate? What should Crunchy anticipate? Anticipation. All right. That was quick. So, Spirit would like Crunchy to know this week, I am attracting its vibrational essence. You can allow it or not, but the basis of your world is well-being. The law of attraction says, that which is like unto itself is drawn. And so, the essence of whatever you give your attention to is unfolding in your experience. Therefore, there is nothing that you cannot be, do, or have. This is law. So, what has highlighted for me, what Spirit is trying to let you know is, you can allow it or not, but the basis of your world is well-being. So this week, Spirit wants you to anticipate well-being in your life, and that is how you will get it. Alright, I hope that helps you out, Crunchy. I'm going to put these cards back, and then we're going to get to Margaret's, and then we're going to get to Abhikrishnet's question. So hang in there, guys. We're getting there. Margaret. Let's see. And Margaret asks, will Margaret start a business in Florida? A business from Margaret. And I do see that Margaret added another question down here, so I'm going to add them together because it's another yes/no question. Will TJ still try to get me to come to Africa to see his family? Ooh, wow. Okay, so will TJ still try to get To go to Africa. Wow. Okay. So which tarot card deck would like to answer Margaret's? Let's see. Which deck? Number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the Octopus Tarot. Okay, so I'm going to refresh the questions for the cards. Will Margaret start a business in Florida? And will TJ try to get Margaret to come to Africa to see his family? Ah, that was a beautiful one. Guess it's that one. Okay. So, will Margaret start a business in Florida? We gotta know the Knight of Cups, and then for TJ trying to get Margaret to go to Africa to see his family, we gotta know. I'm gonna look into the cards for more answers. So, will Margaret start a business when she comes to Florida? That was the Knight of Cups. It's the Knight of Cups. It's the character is going to be charging forth with emotions. And since it's emotions, it's not going to be good and a good environment to start a business. Because you're wrapped up in the emotions after you move to Florida. Okay, so that is what the card is telling me for that one. And then the 5, it's a no for TJ trying to get you to go to Florida to see his family. And it's the 5 of Swords. Again, conflict and defeat. Just conflict and defeat and cutting of ties. And it's a defeat card. So it's just no, that's not what's gonna happen. So yeah, he's not gonna try to convince you to go see his family in Africa. I hope that helps, Margaret. Okay, and then we're gonna get to he Krishinat's question. Gonna refresh the question. He wants to know what this feelings of Kalai towards Abhi, we in less contact. Okay, so I think I'm gonna translate this as what are Kalai's feelings towards Abhi? They're in less contact. So what are Kalai's feelings towards Abhi? Alright, so we're gonna go with a tarot card deck. Which tarot card deck wants to answer Abhi's question? Number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Robinwood Terrace. The Robinwood Terrace. Okay, got Margaret's wrong. Abhi's question. So what are Kalai's feelings towards Abhi? What are Kalai's feelings towards Abhi? What are Kalai's feelings towards Abhi? Okay, we got 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups. Achievement, expertise, and changes. An 8 of Cups. These 8 cups are nice and stable, and it is cups, so it is emotional. It's an emotionally charged card, so he's feeling pretty emotional about Abhi. Kalai is feeling emotionally stable about Kalai. Kalai is feeling emotionally stable towards Abhi. And I would also say peaceful, because here you will see this person is gazing at the moon and the birds flying across the sky and the mountains in the background. So this is an emotionally stable person looking at the environment in a very beautiful way. So nice. I see definitely a lot of stability and stable emotions. So good for you. That sounds really nice. Alright, I hope that helps you out, Abhi. He might be busy or distracted by nature. He or she, rather, since I didn't get genders in there. So they are probably distracted by nature. Okay, so now that I've caught up on the board, I'm going to clear it, I'm going to get some tea, and then I'm going to catch up on chat. I hope everyone liked their cards so far. Ah, tea. Okay, let's see what we got. We were at P, and then Margaret says thanks. Ruby says hi. Hi, Ruby. And Margaret says, I answered that Margaret question. And then Ruby said, anything about how will be my life partner appearance or lifestyle? Interesting. I will add Ruby to the board, and I will catch up on chat, and then I'm going to get right back to you, Ruby. Don't worry, you are on my board. Yes, good, you can see that in chat. Yay. On the screen, rather. And Margaret says thanks. And Margaret says, will TJ respect the fact when I tell him no, he can't live with me? Alright, Margaret, you're back on the board. And then he says, so does he have love feelings towards Abhi. That is another really good question. I'm going to put you back on the board, Abhi. And then Preston says hello. Hello, Preston. And Margaret says, will Paul accept the flight ticket to come visit me? Alright, I will add that with your other question, Margaret. And Margaret said, I did. Good. I'm glad that helped. And Preston says, what is my Leo thinking about? Alright, and Preston is on the board. Good job, Preston, getting on that board. Very good. Alright, so I have caught up on chat. I'm going to get to all of your lovely questions, starting with Ruby, and then Margaret's 2 questions, and then Abhi, and then Preston. So hang in there. Okay, we got Ruby's question. Anything about how Ruby will be my life partner, appearance, or life cycle? So Ruby wants to know about their life partner's appearance or lifestyle. Okay, I understand the question. Let's pull a card for that. We're going to go with a tarot card. We're going to go with a tarot card deck. Okay, I think that'll be a 2-carder because it's appearance and lifestyle. So which deck? Ooh, the Queen. So Queen is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it is the Octopus deck. Okay, so Ruby wants to know the appearance and the lifestyle of their future life partner. Okay, we got the 9 of Wands for appearance and the 4 of Pentacles for lifestyle. Wow. That is so drastic. So drastic. Oh my golly. Okay. Brain blast. So appearance is simple. And it's the 9 of Wands. They are mostly put together. They're mostly put together. Not all together. Like, something is off in their appearance, like an untucked shirt or something. But mostly, they're put together. They're almost very professional looking. And I don't say professional looking like... Maybe I do. Maybe I do mean professional looking because those are the words that came to me. But they are mostly put together. I'm not going to say all together. Just, enough. And they're really, really close to looking put together. Nice. And then lifestyle, because this is Wands. So they're a very artistic person. They're very, action-oriented, which makes sense that something is untucked somewhere. This one is the 4 of Pentacles. And this is just pure chaos to look at. It's a lot. I should actually put the cards where you can see them. These are very detailed cards, so... Ooh, let's see. Yeah, there you go. So this one's the appearance, this one's the lifestyle. Wow. It's just the Four of Pentacles. I'm not sure how they're running because it looks like total chaos. And they're kind of buried in what they've got going on financially. It's kind of a mess, but that's the lifestyle, and they make it work. They make it work. I think that's the best way to describe it. So I hope that helps you out, Ruby. They're going to be very interesting. Let's put it this way. You will not be bored with this life partner. Never be bored. Never be bored. Alright, hope that helps you out, Ruby. And then we're going to get to Margaret's questions. Yes. Margaret's questions. Let's see, Margaret. Get Ruby. Okay, so TJ. Will TJ respect the fact that when I tell him no, he can't live with me? Well, will TJ respect? TJ respect. And then I think there was a second one. Will Paul accept the flight ticket to come visit me? So, will Paul accept the flight ticket? Okay. Okay, so those are those two at the time. And then we're going to pull a tarot card deck to answer Margaret's questions. They are both yes/no questions. Which tarot card deck? J, which is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, we got the blah, 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 blah. The Prisma Visions deck. The Prisma Visions deck. So, will TJ respect? Will TJ respect the fact that Margaret tells him no, he can't live with Margaret? And will Paul accept the flight ticket to come visit Margaret? We're gonna find out. Ooh, come back, cards. Come back. There you go. Okay. That's better. Ooh, that's a good one. So, will TJ respect? Yes. And then it's Illumination, which is the Wheel of Fortune. And then, yes, on the Nine of Wands for Paul accepting the flight ticket. So, will TJ respect the fact when Margaret tells him no, he can't live with Margaret? And that's a yes for the Wheel of Fortune, or Illumination in this case, for this deck. He's going to accept it and move on. And it has to do with all the other surrounding things in his life. He's going to move on to the other options. Like, you weren't the last pick, but you aren't his only pick. He has a web. Oh, he has a web. And he has many networks. I see it. Okay. Wow. So yeah, he's gonna respect it. You're gonna be behind there. And then the 9 of Wands for will Paul accept the flight ticket? And that's a yes. 9 of Wands. And again, gathering the sticks. Gathering everything in action. The accumulation of gathering things to go on that flight. It comes together nicely for him. All right, I hope it helps you out, Margaret. There we go. Put this away. And then we're going to get to Abhi. There we go. There's your box. Prismavision couldn't go there. And Abby's question was, does he have love feelings towards Abhi? We're gonna find out. Which tarot card deck would like to answer Abhi? That is a yes/no question. Which deck would like to handle Abhi's question? King, which is 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Supernatural. Supernatural. And that's a yes/no question. What was his name again? What's his name? Kalai. Does Kalai love Abhi? Does Kalai love Abhi? Does Kalai love Abhi? Does Kalai love Abhi? Ooh, that's a really good one. Okay, so boop. That is a yes. That is a yes. In fact, you know what's funny? That previous question you asked had been an 8 of cups, and this one's a 9 of cups. So that's a definite yes. He loves Abhi. That's sweet. I really like that. That's so good. Oh, there's all these warm feelings bubbling. And these cups are just stacked so nice and neatly. That's very good. That's very good. I'm happy for you. Alright, I hope that helps you out. Okay, and did Abhi, and then Preston. And Preston's question was, what is Preston's Leo thinking about? Let's find out. Let's draw a tarot card deck for Preston. What is his Leo thinking about? Boop, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Witch's Tarot. What is Leo thinking about? What is Leo thinking about? What is Leo thinking about? What is Preston's Leo thinking about? What is Preston's Leo thinking about? The Ten of Wands. Ooh. Okay, so the Ten of Wands is magic, creation, manifestation. And the 10 is the completion of a project. So the Leo is thinking about something that they've been working on for a very long time, and they're working towards that. And that is really what they're thinking about. That's what they're focused on right now. So they're focused on one of their passion projects. Alright. Going to put this stick away. And then I've caught up on the board. So now I'm going to take a tea break and check up on chat. There we go. I'll put that back. I got some tea. And then we're going to check up on chat. Hi, chat. And we ended on Preston's question. Preston's question. Okay, Margaret says, will I throw away my clothes when I move? Margaret's back on the board. Go, Margaret. You're just rapid fire today. Margaret. On the board. And will Paul have me a goodbye party when I move? And well, alright, so we'll add that. And Ruby has retracted the message. And Ruby said, thank you. You're very welcome, Ruby. And Margaret says, will the trap be if I go see Paul when he becomes sick? That is my fault because I left. I will add that to Margaret's questions. And Kat Marie says, can I ask a question? Yes, Kat, please ask your questions. I'm here to do readings for you lovely people who have perfect timing. It's what I do. Kat Marie says, did she, FR, say, will I throw away my clothes when I move? Girl, lol. Yes, I believe that Margaret did say that. And then Kat Marie says, can I get a message regarding the connection between Dorsey and I, both Aries? So yes, Kat Marie, I'll put you on the board. Kat Marie. You're on the board, Kat. Okay, Margaret says, thanks. You're very welcome, Margaret. And Ruby says, will I find my dream job this year? Alright, Ruby's back on the board. Ruby's on the board. Let's see. Preston says, thank you. You're very welcome, Preston. And Emil Kwamina, is there something important my girlfriend is hiding from me? Alright, so me is on the board. Emil is on the board. There we go. So Emil, you look new. Welcome if you have newly subscribed. You're going to be after Ruby. And I'm going to work my way down to you. And it looks like I've caught up on chat, so I'm going to get to these questions, and then I'll look back at chat. Alright, so everyone hold on tight. I'll get back to you after the readings. Margaret's questions. Let's go back up. Okay, will Margaret throw away her clothes? Oh, Margaret. Throw away the clothes. Oh, Margaret throw away the clothes. And will Paul have a goodbye party? Will Paul throw a goodbye party? Goodbye party. And also, will the trap be if I go see Paul when he becomes sick? That is my fault because I left. Will the trap be if I go see Paul when he becomes sick? It's my fault because I left. So I think what the question for the third question is will the trap be Paul blaming Margaret on him becoming sick? So will Paul blame Margaret? I think I'm understanding that correctly. Alright, we're going to get a tarot card deck to answer these yes-no questions. Okay, which deck wants to answer Margaret's questions? Which deck? Number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 'Tis the Prisma Visions deck. Okay, I'm gonna refresh the questions for the deck. So number 1 is will Margaret throw away the clothes? Will Paul throw a goodbye party? And will Paul blame Margaret for his bad health? Margaret, you live such an adventurous life, I gotta say. This is a lot, Margaret. You must be super stressed out. Alright, so will Margaret throw out her clothes? No. And then will Paul throw a goodbye party? No. Will Paul blame Margaret for his bad health? Nope. So all of these are no's. And for all new or old people, a refresher, my reversals are my no's and my uprights are my yeses. So none of these are yeses, but all of these are new no's. Also, 2 of these are major arcana. So big stuff happening. Let's see. I'm going to look into the cards for more detail. Will Margaret throw away clothes? Page of Wands. Page of Wands. pages are youths, and wands represent the manifestation of things, and magic and manifestation and action. And from this card, I don't get a sense of there being a use to throwing out clothes when you move. Like, your youthful tendency is to hold on to those things. And it distracted me. Forgive me. You're gonna hold on to them when you move to Florida. Alright, and then will Paul throw a goodbye party when you leave? And the answer is no. It is Justice. I'm gonna probably fall in love with a lot of guys here. And that was my phone. But focusing back on the card, it's a major arcana. He's going to choose not to throw you a goodbye party. He is focused on the fact that the snake bit the hand, and the blade was used by the hand to cut the snake. So he is all wrapped up in the chaos of all of the hurt feelings. And he wants to seek retribution for all of the hurt. So that's why you're not getting a goodbye party. Alright, and Paul blaming Margaret for his sickness because she left, and it's a no. It's the High Priestess. He's taken the higher morality path on this. So he's choosing to not blame you on his sickness. He is going the higher path, and right now the fruit is there's fruit in the picture. Specifically, it's a pomegranate. He's choosing the higher path rather than blaming you. He's moving on. So he's not focusing on the things that's getting left behind. He's moving on with his life. And that's a spiritual calling for him. So that's for him a major arcana. In fact, you moving for Paul just seems to be a lot of major arcana. Okay. Alright, I hope that helped you out, Margaret. Alright, and then we're going to get to Cat Marie. And there you are. And Cat Marie's question. We're gonna go and find it. Cat Marie. Cat Marie. Cat Marie, can I get a message regarding the connection between Dorsey and I, both Aries? The connection between Dorsey and Cat Marie. So which tarot card deck would like to answer Cat Marie? Which tarot card deck would like to answer Cat Marie? Which tarot card deck would like to answer Cat Marie? There we go. Number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The Gay Tarot. The Gay Tarot. The connection between Dorsey and Cat. The connection between Dorsey and Cat. a message regarding the connection between Dorsey and Kat. A message about the connection between Dorsey and Kat. A message about the connection. Okay. Ooh. Guide of Swords. Okay, so this tends to be a rather violent card. The Guide of Swords. Very weapon wieldy, very trigger happy, ready to attack, very aggressive. So the message is, be forewarned that there is violence potentially. I wish you luck with that connection, but that is what the cards are telling me. The violence in the connection between Dorsey and Kat. Alright, I wish you luck and I wish you both safety. That's all I can do. I hope that helps, Kat. And I'm gonna put this deck away, and then we're gonna get to Ruby. Boop. Let's see, who wants... let's get a refresher on Ruby's question. Will Ruby find your dream job this year? Ooh, that's a time question. You know what? We're going to use the Oracle timing deck because you're asking about time, and it's just the best deck for asking about time. So, will find dream job this year. When will Ruby find their dream job? 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 Okay. In June, Ruby. In June, you will find your dream job. That's good. Wait, is this June? This is June! Ruby, no. Ruby? Yeah, Ruby, this month. Good luck. Hey, that's great. I love that. I love that for you. So in June this month. Nice. Good for you. I hope that helps you out. Alright, so Emil's question. Let's get to Emil's question. Is there something important my girlfriend is hiding from me? Emil. Let's see, which tarot card deck wants to help out Emil? Which tarot card deck wants to help out Emil? It's gonna be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Tarot of the Witches. It's a yes, no question. And since Emil, yes, you're new, I'm gonna let you know how I do my yes, no questions. My reverse, when I get a card that's reversed, it's a no. And when the cards are right side up, they're a yes. So I want you to know that ahead of time before I do your reading. So, is there something important that Emil's girlfriend is hiding from them? Is there something important Emil's girlfriend is hiding from them? Okay, and the answer is no. The answer is no. Emil's girlfriend is not hiding anything important from you, and I'm going to look into the card for more details. So, the card itself is the Knight of Coins, and the Knights are full of movement and action, and the suit is coins, which is usually manifested goods or resources that the knight has. So this knight is going to be spending some coin. And really not going to be hiding it. Because this is, I remember this card. This is the card of spending some money. Yeah, and that is the detail that the card is giving me. Alright, I hope that helps you out, Emil. And now I've caught up on the board. I'm going to put these back, and then I'm going to catch up with chat. And I'm going to have some tea. And say hello to everybody. There we go. Tarot of the Witches. Clear the board. Get some tea. And catch up on chat. Ah, tasty. And Emil says, yes, I'm a new subscriber. Welcome, Emil. Glad to have you aboard. And I'm happy to answer any of your questions. And John has retracted his question. And John says, how does Christine feel about me adding her to a group chat on WhatsApp? I thought she blocked me. Alright, so John is on the board. I'll get back to you, John, when I catch up on chat. And Margaret says yes. Awesome. And John says, I feel embarrassed about that. John feels embarrassed. I'm sorry you feel embarrassed, John. And then Margaret says, thanks. You're very welcome, Margaret. And then Preston says, will I be with Leo in the future? It's a very good question. I'm going to put Preston on the board. Okay, and Ruby, we are in June. Yes. So it might be this June. That's pretty good. I mean, a lot can happen in a month. So you might find your dream job this June. That's pretty cool. Alright, so now that I've caught up on chat, I'm going to answer John and Preston. Tea is tasty. Okay, how does Christine feel about me adding her to a group chat on WhatsApp? Let's ask a tarot card deck. How does Christine feel? Which deck wants to answer John's question? J, which is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is the Prisma Visions deck. Excuse me. Okay, how does Christine feel about her... How does Christine feel about John adding her to a group chat on WhatsApp? How does Christine feel about John adding her to a group chat on WhatsApp? How does Christine feel about John adding Christine to a group chat on WhatsApp? The Nine of Chalices. Oh. She feels emotionally secure about you adding her to a group chat on WhatsApp. And that is what the card is telling me. She feels emotionally secure that you added her to a group chat on WhatsApp. Interesting. Alright, I hope that helps you out, John. And then I'm going to move on to Preston's question. Put this deck away. Put this deck away. I get to Preston's question. Okay. And Preston's question: will I be with Leo in the future? That is a great question. Which tarot card deck would like to answer Preston? Which tarot card deck would like to answer Preston? Number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the Prisma Visions deck. Boop. Okay. It's a yes/no question. Will Preston be with Leo in the future? Will Preston be with Leo in the future? Will Preston be with Leo? Ooh, didn't like that one. Did not like that one. That one was not good. Okay, will Preston be with the Leo in the future? That's a better one. Yes. The Knight of Swords. We're going to look into the card for more details. Ooh, Knight of Swords. So the Knight is a very action-oriented person. And of Swords, there's usually a conflict of logic or mind or something like that. In fact, if you see in the card, this Knight is battling a very aggressive, I want to say goose dragon, or gigantic rock bird. So the answer is yes. And this person is very aggressive. Very action-oriented with logic. Ready for a fight. Very aggressive. Alright, I hope that helps you out, Preston. So yes. Yes, yes. Okay, I'll put these cards away, and then we've caught up on the board. Very good. Oh my god, I've been streaming for 1 hour and 51 minutes already. I only have 9 minutes left, guys. Wow, that's one of the fastest streams I've ever done. There's been so many questions. Thank you, Margaret, for all your rapid fire questions. You made it go by so fast. Oh, I love it when you guys ask questions. Alright, so put this deck away. 9 minutes left. Clear the board, have some tea, look at chat, see where we're at. Alright, where are we at? Okay, John says, would she be open to trying things with me again? Alright, John is back at the board. And Preston says, thank you, and you're very welcome, Preston. Alright, so that has caught me up with chat. So I'm going to get to John's question. Would Christine be open to trying things with John again? Which tarot card deck would like John's question? Number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Octopus Tarot. Would Christine be open to trying things with John again? That is the question. That is the question. The yes-no question. Will Christine be open? Would Christine be open to trying things with John again? Okay. That's a no. And that's the Emperor. That's the Emperor and a no. So that's a major arcana. We're going to look into the card for more details. Alright. So no, she's not interested in trying things again. She thinks you're too high on your throne. And this is the major arcana. This is the major feeling she's feeling. She's feeling like you're too high on your throne. And she's not willing to try again. Alright, so I hope that helps you out, John. Put this back. And then catch up on chat. And I have 6 minutes left. Alrighty. Whew. Did John clear board have tea? Very good. Wow. Wow. What an active night. This is actually the first time tonight for my 2 hours long streams that I haven't had stream to catch up on. Neat. That's a very good question, John. I'm going to ask the cards. Thank you for the 5-second break. I appreciate it. Thank you. It was nice. All right, let's see. Which deck wants to answer John? Does she not trust me? Okay, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Spaghetti Tarot. Okay, does Christine trust John? Does Christine trust John? Does Christine trust John? Ooh, that's a good shuffle. Does Christine trust John? So, yes. Christine trusts John. And this is the Youth of Coins. So, I'm just going to be frank. She trusts you because you're pretty. And that is what the cards are telling me. You're pretty with your muscles, apparently. But the Youth of Coins is also a youth, a young person. And coins are of wealth. And the picture does dictate a good-looking man. Therefore, the good-looking man might be John. And with coins, it's something that's been manifested. So if she's looking at muscles, muscles can be manifested. And that is what I'm going to say is what the card is telling me. Yep. That's all it's telling me. Alright. I'm going to put that away. Hope that helps you out, John. Now I'm going to put this deck away. There we go. And then I'm going to catch back up on chat and see where I'm at on time. Oh, I got 1 minute left. 1 minute left. Okay. Ah, I see Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Debbie says hello, beautiful people, Aquarius. Hi, yo, Debbie. And John says, lol, okay. And John says, I have money. That's excellent. It's good to have money. And Debbie says, can you pull a card for me asking what the universe has coming to me? And can you tell me if my settlement is coming in June? Awesome. I'm going to put Debbie on the list. Debbie's on the list. Okay. Okay. And John says, driving me nuts. And Debbie says, hi, sweetie. Hi. And John says, according to that reading. Okay. And Debbie says, I can catch you in the morning. Well, Debbie, I don't know if you were here for it or not, but I'm not doing morning streams anymore. I'm just doing night streams because my daytime work picked up. I don't have time for 2 streams anymore. But last week was a really nice experiment. And then John said, didn't you say something about that? According to that reading. Yeah, I did, John. And Debbie says, okay. So we have Debbie on here, and Debbie's going to be my last reading because we have now just hit the 2-hour mark. So Debbie is my last reading for the night. And she had a twofer. And John says, makes sense. Yes, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. Okay, and Debbie, can you pull a card for me asking what the universe has coming to me? And can you tell me if my settlement will come in June? Thanks. And that's a twofer. We're going to just ask the general decks for Debbie. Which deck wants to handle Debbie's 2 questions? And remember, guys, this is the last question for the night because I've hit my 2 hours. It's time for me to sleep because I have work in the morning. I have work in the morning. I have work in, like, daytime work. If I could make a career out of streaming with you guys, I would totally do that. But I still got a day job I gotta go to. So which deck? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Supernatural deck. Okay. Whoop. So this is a 2-carder. The second one is yes, no. Let me get this straight on what the 2 questions are before we even do the reading. So the first one is pull a card asking what the universe has coming to me, which is that what does the universe have coming to Debbie? And can you tell me if the settlement will come in June? So the settlement in June. And that one is a yes, no question. All right. There we got it. There we have it all. Settled for the cards. What does the universe have to tell Debbie? And will Debbie get her settlement in June? Yeah. Okay. The cards have reminded me to rotate. There we go. Yeah. That's a good one. Alright, so the universe. What message for Debbie? The Ace of Bones. The Ace of Bones. And then, ooh, we have the 3 of Pentacles for settlement in July. Alright, so I think I have to remember how these are flipped because this is literally 3. This is the hardest deck, the hardest card to see if this is reversed or not for me. Because my reversals are no, and then my right side's up are yes. So this one I just can't tell. Okay, so this one. Okay, so this is in the corner. So this is a no. You will not get your settlement in June. So that's a no. And this one's just straightforward financially, because this is also the 3 of Pentacles. Financially, no, that's not going to work out this month. That's very simple, very straightforward. And then we're going to look into the Ace of Bones for what the universe is trying to tell Debbie. And the bones are represented representing the wands. So the Ace of Wands is the beginning of magic and some new project. It represents fire. So you're going to be beginning a new project. A new project is coming to you in that case. A new project to manifest with your magic. So if anything comes by that strikes you with passion, do it. Go forth and do it. It's just the beginning. So go for it, girl. Go for it. All right. The cards say, yay, go for it. So I hope that helps you out, Debbie. Okay, I'm going to catch up with chat, and then I'm going to say good night. It's been a very active night. I've really enjoyed it, guys. So come back in 22 hours, and we'll do this again, because I'm now doing nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's see. Let's look back at chats. Catch you in the morning. Okay, and Debbie says, okay. And John says, okay. And John says, makes sense. And John says, thanks. You're very welcome. Glad to help. And Debbie says, divine timing. Absolutely. You should mark it. Yes. And Debbie says, magic, sparkle, and wands. Yes, ma'am, my magic wand, sparkle. And concur. Thanks, I will. Heart. Yes. And good night, collective. Good night, Violet. Good night. See you in the future, Debbie. Love you. Bye. Bye, everyone. Come back in 22 hours. That's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You all beautiful people. Love you. Bye.